What's up, YouTube? Pretty Mac here, bringing you guys back New Meta Mondays. If you guys are hyped for the series to be coming back, please go ahead and attack the hell out that like button. Your support is greatly appreciated. For those of you that are new to the channel or don't know what New Meta Mondays are, I'm going to just quickly fill you in. Basically, what happens is probably this will be every other week, and hopefully I can keep it going pretty constant. But anyways, I'm going to be taking Pokemon that are OU, UU, RU, whatever, trying to come up with new creative ways to use them in the current metagame to maybe trick your opponent into thinking you're one thing when you're really something else, or just confusing them and giving you a chance of a leg up. So hopefully this is just sort of creative way to create new sets for Pokemon to be used in Wi-Fi battles and whatnot. Now, I do use Pokemon Showdown. It is a great way for people to battle and also to test out new sets, new teams, new Pokemon without having to go through breeding everything. So I highly recommend that you guys go check it out. And this week, for those of you that have been around my channel for a long time, probably have seen this Pokemon before, maybe not quite this set, but at least the idea that this set existed. It's basically taking a defensive Rotom-Wash, because basically everybody in the world uses a defensive Rotom-Wash. It's max HP, max defense, bold nature, it's Hydro Pump, Volt Switch, Pain Split / Rest, depending on the item, and Will-O-Wisp. It's basically a complete and utter wall, eats everything up for breakfast. So this is just one way that you can use it, especially on Showdown, where a lot of people use specific mons that I'll get into in a minute. But basically, this is a great way to knock out those Pokemon without actually, not necessarily having to use something else, but this is a great way to trick your opponent, because they're probably seeing this and they're going to be expecting the defensive Rotom-Wash set. So basically, this set, it's basically the same for them all. I've just sort of changed the item. That's about the only thing, and the EVs are a little bit different. But basically, it's always going to be Hydro Pump, Thunderbolt. You can run Volt Switch, but I'll get to that in a second. So it's Hydro Pump, Thunderbolt, HP Ice is basically mandatory, and I run Pain Split. This set here is basically the one that I'm running right now, and I'll get to the EVs in a minute. But I run Pain Split and Lefties. It's because of the HP investment that I run Leftovers. You can run it with a Life Orb if you want, and I'll get to why as well in a minute. But basically, this is the standard set. Now, this is at level 50, so you might have to adjust it on Showdown for level 100. But basically, it's 204 EVs into HP. That's to give you 151, and you always want an odd number HP, but 151 with a Life Orb gives you the most attacks, because it gives you, it'll give you 16 attacks, assuming you don't get hit, but you get 16 attacks before your guy faints. Running max HP, if I just take out the speed investment right now, running max HP, you get the exact same amount of attacks anyways, so there really isn't an advantage for those 6 HP. But these 52 are actually really important to outspeed defensive, Landorus's as well as Azumarill. So it's actually really important to run some speed investment and modest nature, specifically because I'm not running a choice set, so I just need a modest nature to basically just bump up the attack as high as possible. And then obviously the Pain Split, especially if you run the Life Orb, Pain Split is really important to get back some HP and maybe get off a couple extra attacks. Another option is basically, it's either Choice Scarf or Choice Specs, depending on what your team is. But it's pretty standard. It's going to be a Timid Nature, 252 Special Attack, 252 Speed, and then depending on HP, you want to make sure HP is an odd number. And this is where you can run the Volt Switch, especially with the Choice Scarf, because you can send them out, Volt Switch out if you don't like the matchup, or to get a switch initiative into something that you have a better opportunity with. So, and again, it's the same moves: Hydro Pump, Thunderbolt, HP Ice. And then this is a bit of a different one. You can run a fully defensive set. This one actually should be leftovers. If you're going to run this set, it's basically 252 HP, 252 special attack, modest nature, a bit of speed investment. It makes a little bit of sense because, again, I think that's enough to outspeed Landorus T, physically defensive Landorus T. I believe. You have to run a little bit, if I'm not mistaken, to outspeed them. But anyways, again, the same three moves. You could run Volt Switch here if you want, but Thunderbolt, because you're basically probably going to be staying in and attacking. And then Will-O-Wisp as a sort of a support move. Again, you could go back to Pain Split if you want, but a Will-O-Wisp is an option. Now, now I've set it up in here, it's a damage calculator. I'll leave the link for you guys below for it. But basically this is the set that I've been sort of running. I've just sort of left it as a modest nature and then given him life orb. I don't really care about HP. I just want to make sure his attack is right. And I have the three right moves. This is HP Ice, Hydro Pump, Thunderbolt, like I've been saying. Now this is the OU standard defensive Landorus set. Now, so yeah, you do need to run some speed investment. This is why I run 52, because you do just outspeed with 52. You see, that's why you have to run enough speed investment to outspeed him. So with 52 speed EVs, you outspeed him by 1, and it's a guaranteed OHKO with HP Ice, Hydro Pump. It's a little bit shaky, but if you go with HP Ice, it's guaranteed OHKO, it's 100% accurate. You don't have to worry about it. And also, this is, again, HP Ice is extremely important because a lot of people think you're running Volt Switch, so you can't Volt Switch out. And so they might not switch in Landorus specifically because the Hydro Pump will still kill, but it's definitely a good option that people might think, hey, you know, he's going to Volt Switch here so I can switch into my Landorus T so he can't switch out. Another option here is Garchomp. Again, specifically the Choice Scarf set. I mean, you could run, I think, even the physically defensive one, I think we take out as well, Tank Chomp. Yeah. Yeah, we don't actually OHKO the Tank Chomp, but, I mean, definitely, I mean, we're doing, what, 80%? That's pretty good damage to a Garchomp, especially a defensive Garchomp. But that's because he's running special defense EVs. If he's not running any, he's already running max HP. Again, I mean, it's 1 in 4 chance to OHKO, so that's pretty good. But, I mean, he's probably a pretty standard switch-in again because of the Volt Switch. But if you get up to the Choice Scarf, I mean, HP Ice guaranteed OHKO. I mean, honestly, this is actually a really good set for people to use, especially if you want to play on Showdown and you're just trying to have some fun. And I'll definitely leave the link below because I did do some Showdown battles with this specific set, this Rotom with HP Ice. And honestly, I've had so many people rage quit on me just because of the HP Ice, and it's just, it OHKOs pretty much everything. I think it even OHKOs a Salamence. I had somebody else OHKO me on this as well, Mixed Attacker. Yeah, see, it OHKOs a Salamence. I mean, if you break Dragonite, especially if you get, like, if you go in the Choice Band and then you take off his ability, which I don't know, like, if you just take off his ability and just go to Motor Drive, again, you basically OHKO it after Stealth Rocks. You throw up Stealth Rocks here, guaranteed OHKO, right? Yeah, guaranteed 1-hit KO after Stealth Rock. I mean, honestly, guys, this is actually a legitimate set that I think a lot of people should start be using more often on Showdown. Because you can definitely trick your opponent because he's going to be thinking this is going to be physically defensive Rotom-Wash. And you can go out there and you can take on Landers, Tees, Garchomps, Salamence, Dragonites, especially after Stealth Rocks, and basically outkill them and take out huge threats to your team with a Rotom-Wash. So I'm telling you guys that if you're looking for something to handle that and you're trying to run something that's a little bit creative, then I highly recommend you use this Rotom-Wash. The set's up to you depending on what your team needs, but basically anything that's running max special attack with a modest nature and life orb, if that's the one you're running, it's basically going to wreck house and destroy a lot of dragons and flying types and ground types, especially the ground types, because a lot of people think Rotom-Wash is going to be Volt Switch or a Thunderbolt. So you can hit them with that HP Ice and do hella damage to them. So hopefully you guys you start using him more often. We get him, get Smogon into suggesting this set for Rotom-Wash. So I want you guys now to go ahead in the comment section down below. Let me know what you think of this specific Pokemon. Maybe you have a question about it, or maybe something you can suggest, maybe a different move or a different EV spread, whatever. But go ahead in the comment section down below. Let me know what you guys think about the set. And don't forget, hey, you guys want to suggest something for me to potentially create a new set or whatever, then go ahead and leave it down below. There's a Pokemon that you want, maybe something new, something out of the box that a lot of people aren't thinking about, then go ahead and leave it below, and I'll definitely consider it. And maybe not right away because I'll have to take a little bit of time to figure it out. But hey, definitely an opportunity for you guys to maybe get something that's a little bit creative and out of the box. So I hope you guys liked the episode, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. That'd be great. Thanks, guys.